All right, here we go to Monday, late night happy hour. Dave Koken, the legend, is in. Growing legend of Plus Money Honey. Allie is in as well. It's Cofield. We got a lot of football to get to, a lot of Raiders-related stuff. Adam Hill may check in later on. I'll ask you guys right out of the gates. Well, first of all, how are you, Dave?
I'm good. Looking forward to the baseball playoffs, and NFL's been fun to watch so far. College football's back. The NHL is done for a couple months. Can't wait for the Golden Knights next season to start. They've been such a fun team to follow. And I haven't gotten the cup yet, but they've made a couple of good runs, huh? It's not a bad time to be a sports fan.
Allie, what's going on? You said you were working all day. Did you just do some sort of live video during Monday Night Football?
I did. We were just testing it out. We did it on Facebook Live, me and a guy named Kurt Alexander from Picks and Parlays. He's one of our newest handicappers. But we did an in-play show during Monday Night Football for the first half. It went pretty well. It was cool. I can't win an NFL bet this week to say I did so well last week, and I literally have lost every bet that I've made, only in the NFL. I'm still crushing baseball, but frustrating. I did cash my Heat series ticket, though. That was good yesterday.
Nice.
I would say one betting note. I wasn't involved in the game tonight, but I'm pretty sure that it's very possible for the rest of my life I will never give points to Patrick Mahomes. He is awesome.
Well,
think awesome.
Think about it, Dave. I think the Patriots before, what was it, a couple weeks ago, had been favored in something like 64 straight regular season games. And that's where Mahomes is heading. Like this, This is likely to not happen again unless there's some major injury to Mahomes himself. This will not happen probably for, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but 3 or 4 seasons where they're getting points anywhere.
I can believe it. And I mean, I know he's still young, but I think he might be the best quarterback I've ever seen because he's got athletic skills that are amazing. But from the neck up, he's even better. His ability to dissect on the run, it's incredible. It's just incredible. We're looking at a historic figure.
I think his only, and it's only a weakness right now, and you actually don't want to limit him. Like his only weakness is he's so good and has such a big arm that at times, he can just flick the ball from anywhere and it still gets there, so he can get himself in harm's way. But man, he threw the pass that he threw to Mecole Hardman, where Hardman was like wide open. You're watching him, and he was basically buying time for Hardman to clear the cornerback, and Mahomes just is backing up. Like he backed up 12 yards and he's just like, and just flicks it down the field. He threw it 58 yards, like on a rope. And he's like, I'll just back up 10 more yards because my arm's so awesome. I know it'll get there and I can throw it whenever I want. Like, Jesus.
Well, enjoy it. Yeah. Because we really don't get a chance to see guys of this caliber. They're rare and it's fun to watch.
Well, got Allie.
Well, I was super disappointed in the game. Like, I really like Lamar Jackson and just thought it was going to be everything it was meant to be, some offensive showdown, at least something competitive. It was just lackluster and it made me sad. It looked like Lamar's puppy died or something, like his head wasn't in the game, or like someone whispered in his ear, hey, you're going to have to throw this one so the Chiefs can win or something. I don't know. I just didn't like it. I'm disappointed in my Monday Night Football experience.
Dave, are the Chiefs going to become not unbettable, but the lines are going to be so high that it's going to be, because they want to push people out from betting them. Because now, I mean, these next couple of weeks, people are just going to go crazy betting the Chiefs. Like you're not getting value on the Chiefs.
I don't think so, and I'll use the Patriots as a reference because for 2 decades, basically, the Patriots just kept covering spreads. It didn't matter what they did with the number because there'd be numbers guys who would say, well, the value is on the other side. And some people just kept on betting the Patriots and won the money. I think it might go the same way with the Chiefs.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You had a good weekend too, right, Dave? Football?
Yeah, it's been I'm 8-1 so far in college, so which is my best sport. So I'm happy with that, and a little bit ahead in the NFL. I think it's 4-3 overall. Nothing spectacular, but I'll take 4-3. And besides which, I got lucky on the Bills on Saturday because Sunday was a pretty bad pass interference call, but it worked in my favor, so I'll take it.
Exactly. Take them because you believe me, it's going to go against you from time to time.
Yep.
No doubt. No doubt. What'd you hit in college?
Let's see.
I could not.
Tennessee, Baylor, I gotta remember, Florida International, which thank goodness the other team decided to take a knee at the 2-yard line late in the game. And what was the other game? The other game was pretty easy, but I can't think of who it was. But anyway, there were 4 winners and no losers on Saturday.
Nice.
That's
Very
right.
nice.
I'll take it. My numbers are pretty good in college football, and just keep doing the work, and hopefully the results will cooperate.
So, Dave, let's see. Gil the Thrill jumped in, and he said, I'm glad to see Koken's doing well. He says, I saw Raiders Mafia coming at him. Some of those people are crazy. So what exactly happened? I saw you send out a tweet. It was talking about tipping, and then it got real ugly. And the thing that disturbed me as much as anything, well, obviously there was all the stupid name calling, but also part of that was Raiders fans coming in and basically saying like, hey, don't worry about how people tip. Servers should feel fortunate. Like, whoa. Vegas is different. I don't know where you people are from, but like, this is how we survive. We are a service industry town, and these people have just been destroyed. I'm talking about the servers and bartenders. They've just been destroyed for 5 months. So don't come in telling us, giving us advice on how to tip. But how did it start out? What did you send out?
So I got alerted to something that had taken place, and I was not going to name the player, not going to name the restaurant. I still haven't. And it was approximately a $600 tab, and a Raider player had left $10. That's 1.5% for those who don't have access to quick math. And I thought that was disgraceful. And I've never done it before, by the way. I've never tweeted. You see tweets about bad tippers all the time, especially from folks in LA or Las Vegas where there's a lot of celebrities. And word gets around in a hurry on bad tippers and sometimes on really good tippers, too. You see a lot of complimentary things said about guys like Charles Barkley and Shaq and Phil Mickelson, who are well known for on top of being very generous and people love them. So that gets out there as well. So anyway, now again, I didn't mention any names. Somebody else. Well, it's not something I can prove.
Well, you don't want to stir up shit. It's just making the point.
Well, anyway, somebody else apparently tweeted out the player's name. I never did. So I have no control over what somebody else tweets. Now, the interesting thing on this is that despite the fact that I never tweeted out player's name and or the restaurant, a player on the Raiders decides to tweet back at me telling me that this never happened. Now, let's put some logic into play here. If you haven't been named, then why would you be tweeting at somebody that, hey, it wasn't me? That doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm done with the situation. Raider fans are very unhappy with me, and I really don't give a shit. Okay, because if you're going to defend, regardless of whether it was this player or not. And by the way, I have to point out the server didn't know who the player was. The server. That's part of why I didn't tweet out a name. The server did not know who the player was. The server's not particularly a sports fan. Only knew it was one of the younger Raiders. Okay? So I didn't even have the information at first as to who the player was. So the tweet truly was anonymous in terms of the individual. And that makes it all the more perplexing as to why a certain player would get involved in tweeting back. Draw your own conclusions. What bothers me, I understand Raider fans are fans. They want to believe only the best about their heroes. I guess I'm kind of different. I've never had any heroes. Sorry, I don't. I just that's not my thing. probably from growing up around pro athletes. There were a lot of them in my neighborhood. They would, I learned early on they were just regular people like anybody else. Pierre Brilliant, and I will mention his name, was a player on the pro hockey team in Rhode Island, and he lived right down the street, and he hit a dog with a broom one day. I was like 6 or 7 years old at the time, and I figured out at that point, just because he played pro hockey didn't mean he wasn't an asshole. Dog had wandered onto his lawn. He went out there and smashed him with a broom. It's like, what a prick. So I've never held athletes in any higher esteem than anybody else. To me, an athlete is no different from a food server. It's just their job. That's all. They might make more. They might get more perks and more recognition, but people are people. I am appalled, quite frankly, by those who are defending the actions of anybody who would leave a $10 tip on a $600 tab. What the hell is wrong with you? Well, maybe the service was bad. Maybe it wasn't. I happen to know the place, and I know the server, and I can tell you this. This place is noted for its service. It is noted for its service. Okay? Everybody gets treated like they're golden there. So that wasn't it.
I feel like this is like what we were all kind of, I'm not particularly a Raiders fan. You guys know that. I'm from Houston, so they're like one of my rival teams. And I think this is kind of like part of what we were afraid of is like, oh, their fans are so intense and, they're going to come and jack up our city. And I don't know. I'm not saying it's that extent, but it's definitely showing disrespect for how we roll and not recognizing that this is how we do it here. And
anywhere, not just Las Vegas.
Right, that's true. But I mean, Vegas, look at how the Knights came in as a new team and the Aviators came in as a new team. I mean, they're like worshipped in this town, worshipped. You get a free pass to anywhere you want to go because they're all cool. Like you can't. I do
want to point something out. Just about everything I've heard in terms of Raiders interacting with the city has been positive.
Oh, good.
Okay? This is the only negative I've heard.
That's worth noting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What's up, Adam?
What's up, Adam? Yeah.
Did anybody ask for a rhymes with yet?
Yes.
Multiple times.
That's my favorite.
So you tracked this last night, Adam. What do you think?
Well, first, I mean, I'm late to hear. Do we said who the player is, right? Because he called himself out.
Well, I'm still not saying it.
He didn't name the player, and he didn't name the restaurant.
Right. You might not have heard this, but the server didn't know who the player was.
Right. So yeah, just so we know, like Dave did not mention the place or the player in his tweet, and then the player tweeted about it and said it's not true. He wasn't. He didn't even say who it was. Like saying it's not true, kind of is telling on yourself. Not kind of. It is. It's 100% telling on yourself. So I'm going to look at that as a confirmation that it's true. And
here's the thing.
Listen. Now, this story, Dave, I think it's true, and it really bugs me.
Well, it bugs me too. For a variety of reasons. Yeah, okay, I know. I get it. But it does bug me, and here's why. Okay, first of all, it's astonishing how many people are unaware of what the tipping process is. Forget the amount that you're leaving. The server doesn't pocket all the money you leave. They're required to tip out, and in most places, it's based on the sales receipts for the night. Okay, they have to tip out their back servers, bartenders, kitchen help. No, they're not. It's not like they're tipping away, tipping all their money out. They can still do very well. But if you leave a really bad tip, the server's literally paying to have served you. You can't defend that in any way. That's indefensible. Beyond that, they're servers, not servants. And I'm just disgusted with the demeaning attitude so many people have been taking, at least the negative people have been taking toward people in that profession. Who the fuck are you? Okay? These people are working hard to support their families. They've had a horrible year, by the way, as an addendum because of what's taken place in this city, maybe more than any other in the country. And you talk about me being on a high horse? Wow. Okay.
Not that it's anybody's responsibility, Dave, but I think along those same lines, I think I've been leaving like 100% since everything reopened, just because like people didn't work for months, and they also don't get to, because they don't even get their full tables. So if they usually get like 20 tables a night, they might be getting 8 or 9 now.
Yeah.
And they actually have to do more. They actually have to do more work than pre-pandemic because of, you have to switch out everything.
Yeah.
It's just a tough job right now.
I couldn't imagine being a server with a mask on. Like that is just got to be so. I was a server for years, and it's too much.
Also, the minimum salary question is irrelevant. First of all, I don't want to say that people should be responsible for tipping more just because they have more money. I mean, I think it is the right thing to do, but like, I don't think you're responsible for like, hey, you have to leave 50% because you make a certain amount. Like that's not fair.
You can leave it. The industry standard is basically 18% of the check before taxes.
Right.
Before taxes. That's the standard. Okay. If you want to leave 15, it's not not going to kill it. And if you want to leave a little more, that's great. But generally speaking, leave 18. That's respectable, and you're never going to have a bad word said about you if you do. By the way.
I will. The minimum salary thing is irrelevant, though. He did get a $10 million signing bonus this year. Just so we're clear, it's not a minimum salary player.
Yeah, I used to wait on when I lived in Houston. Carl Lewis and Michael Johnson would come in, and they would drink a Buckler non-alcoholic beer, and they would like always tip exactly 15% on the number. And they were such nice guys. I'm like, I never expected them to like tip me anymore because they were famous or
Right.
I mean, it's not like that. Carl Lewis was clearly retired at this time. It was a couple of years ago, but every time they came in, I like to see them. It wasn't about the tip. It was about they were fun to hang out with and they were good customers. So yeah, sometimes being a good customer is a tip in itself.
Most places add the tip to the price of the bill after like $200, don't they, CJ Cards fan? No. They generally, only if it's a large party.
It's 8 or more.
Right.
Usually 8 or more.
Otherwise, no, because it's kind of something that's number one. It can confuse the customer because they don't know if they're supposed to leave an additional tip on top of the tip that's already put in. Yeah. Secondly, it's kind of forcing them to so you don't want to do that. That's something that's not good customer relations for doing that.
Here's a quick side question. Steve, you sent out the tweet that we're discussing this story.
Huh?
Should I retweet it? And I ask you this saying, should I, knowing that said player follows me and does interact with me on Twitter?
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Here's my thing to said player. I don't think from what I gather, seems to be a very nice guy. He's very accommodating in terms of taking pictures with fans and signing autographs. My suspicion is he just doesn't know better. Maybe it's something new to him. I don't know. I obviously don't know that. No, I know. He's a young guy. I don't know what his financial situation was. I have no idea. Some people don't know. That's why it was left anonymous in the first place, in the hopes that, hey, that's not quite the way to do things. And hopefully a player in question doesn't do it again.
I will point out, Dave, because again, just to reiterate it, you did not call out this player. You did not say who it was or where the place was. And the player found out about it, retweeted it, and denied the story, even though he was never cited in the story. I will say this. I was with some friends of mine that are from the same, basically town as this player. And they are successful now. And they were saying, here's the thing, it's not excusable. And in my position, I think it's awful. They were like, when I was his age and I first got a job, I would have had no idea. I would have had no clue.
That's fair enough.
And so I thought that was part of. I think that was part of.
But there's no way to. I didn't want to come out and say, hey, so-and-so, that's not the way things work. Try and do better.
Right.
I would never do that anyway. I have no way to contact the individual privately. And believe me, I'm no different. I had to be shown the ropes when I was that age.
Yeah. So, and I think we are. And again, I'm not defending it, because I think on the surface you look at this and you're like, dude, come on, like that's not how things work. But at the same time, like, you have to understand, we were also that age once, and maybe just started working, didn't understand. Like, I think I don't think there was a time I didn't know, but I think there was a time where I'll be like,
Right. Well, as far as tipping, I always knew, because we ate out all the time. My mom was not a good cook, and so we ate. Well, it's true. We ate out all the time. So I learned about tipping pretty young, but other things I had to be shown the ropes. No question about that.
I'm fascinated by this. Would you tell your mom, like, this sucks?
No, my dad. My folks were married almost 50 years and never had an argument. Never. Wow. Never saw them argue. But she was pretty good with desserts, but main dishes, it was like, no, you don't have to worry about making anything tonight. Let's head over to the diner.
Dave, when you got a bad meal, did you say, fuck this, and go outside and smoke at like 8?
I've almost never gotten bad meals.
No, I meant from your mom. You're like, God damn it.
No.
I'm going to go smoke a cigarette.
No, just kind of got through it.
Hey, this is a related topic, and I don't know what you guys will answer, but one of our buddies, I think from the Bay Area, because we see him talking to the KNBR people all the time, on big jackpot winnings. What do you do? Because this is something we've covered many times on our show, because we know people have hit for $20, $30, $40, $50,000 tabletop poker at a bar, and like, what do you tip in that case? Like, what do you do when it's you hit a jackpot, $200,000? What do you think, Dave?
Well, I don't know, because I don't do that kind of gambling. I'm not I bet sports. But a couple of times I've hit, like, I think the best I've ever done. Well, I know I've hit a few of those, like, $1,200 and change video poker things where you got to sign the tax form. Tip a C note.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
Is it crazy for me to say 10% on 200,000?
I was actually thinking 5%, but
yeah,
it also depends. Like, that's a table game, which I think is somewhat different. Like, if you've been playing at that table for hours and hours, and the dealer's been good and helping you and giving you advice, that kind of thing. Different than just coming up to the table, like somebody you just did the second hand and got the jackpot. And then
if you're a bar regular,
that's the bigger one.
You have to take that into consideration, how your bartender has treated you over the years, and generally the tip's going to be a little bit higher, I would think.
Yeah, the question is more table, and that's what I was going to get to. Like, at a slot machine, it's so different. If you go to, like, the same, like, we have friends that are bartenders at local bars. Literally, if I go visit him today, and then 2 days from now, and then a week from now, it'll be the same people sitting at the bar. Right. Like, the same people at every machine.
Yeah.
And, like, if those people win and they've been, comp drinks every single night and they're hanging out every night and they're, the bartender's calling them Ubers and that sort of thing, like, I think you're getting into the 20% range.
All right. I want to answer this one. Let's see. You want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and views on bigfollows.com. Well, thank you. As we learned over the weekend, though, the other way to become famous is to actually go after the Raiders, because those of us in this town and the media, now that the Raiders are here, we're just looking to get after them.
Yeah, right.
That's what we need. Dave, who's been here for like 40 years and was on radio for 35. Dave, out of nowhere, just decided, you know what? I need to pump myself up a little bit. I'm just going to randomly go after an anonymous Raider because I lack self-confidence. That's me.
Yeah.
When I read that, like, repeatedly, people are like, oh, this guy looking to glom onto the Raiders. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
No, I really don't.
Goddamn legend.
What I do give a shit about, and this is no bullshit. Look, I've lived here now for well over half my life, I guess it is. I love this city. Absolutely love this city. And the lifeblood of this city is the hospitality industry and the people who work in the hospitality industry. That's what makes Las Vegas different from any place else, is the people who work in the casinos, not the casinos themselves or the hotels, which are all corporate. You never see those people. But the people who work in the casinos, the people who work in the restaurants, these are the best people in the world, salt of the earth. And if it means I get in trouble with some Raider fans because they're upset about what I said about one of their heroes, I really don't give a shit, okay? I care more about the people who work in the service industry in this town. Most of them I don't know, but a lot of them I do, and I'm friends with them. And I think you should watch the back of people who actually do matter to you, rather than people who, there's one guy, Alex, who was really giving me a bad time on Twitter last night. And somebody tweeted to him, he says, "This player doesn't give a shit about you. You don't know him at all. He doesn't know you. What are you tagging him in every post for, like you're his buddy?" That's kind of where it is. Look out for your friends, because they're the ones who matter.
It's good advice.
But as far as the Raiders are concerned, I'm glad they're here. They're great for the city.
Yeah.
So are the Golden Knights. So are the Aviators, our AAA team. Love having the guys here. A lot of them will make their homes here permanently because they'll fall in love with the city just as so many of us have. Welcome aboard. It's a great place to live. It's not so great right now, but that's really nobody's fault. But no, what's good for Las Vegas is good by me. So that's the end of that speech.
This is a good one. Zia Trader says, what is the standard tip for a ticket writer on a dime bet that cashes? What is the standard tip? Since I worked at a sports book or multiple sports book like 20 years ago.
Zero.
Zero. Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dave, what do you think you should leave if you win? It's sports gambling. I mean, all gambling is tough too, because I never want to read into where someone is. That could be like their last $1,000.
Well, and you don't want to take money out of your own bankroll to tip with either. That was always a problem with me playing poker. Is like, this is my bankroll. I'm not just like giving you bets right now. It's got to come out of your pocket for a poker dealer, not your bankroll throwing chips at them.
Wait, what? I like throwing chips at them.
Oh, I don't throw chips at them.
I'd rather
I
tip
play
on
my session
hold
at
on,
the end than I tip out of my pocket.
I've played enough with Steve to know exactly what he does, which is completely obnoxious. But most people, if they win, so like if you win like 5-6 hands in a row in blackjack, you'll either throw the dealer some money or like throw a bet out there for the dealer, right? Above your bet, you'll throw a bet out there for the dealer. Like that's how you do it. If Steve loses like 4 or 5 hands in a row, the chips are just getting tossed at the dealer. Like, yeah, take it.
First of all, that's a poor description. I'm not throwing them at them. But I will tip when I'm losing. I'm going to lose anyway. And they're generally like, they're stunned. They're stunned. I'm like, thank you. Thanks for that blackjack against me. Trying to change my luck. It doesn't work, but at least but here's the thing. They make some money rather than me counting it up at the end. If I win, if I lose, I don't tip. Like they get money along the way.
You're telling the universe, I don't want this money. I don't want this money. And the universe is like, okay, cool. I'll take it from you. You got to get in your like gambling headset here. Like, don't throw it. It's like women have some, I don't know where it came from, but women have something that you never put your purse on the floor, that it's always got to be on something because like your money drains into the ground. It's some superstition, but like I'm not putting I don't know why you put your purse on the floor anyway, but I mean.
I never do.
Don't throw.
Maybe you put your purse down?
Not on the floor.
I'm never playing more than like probably $200 total. I play $5 blackjack. So I know I'm getting some drinks and same thing with Pie Gal. It's just like eventually whatever you're throwing $25 for losing 200, at least it's something.
Push Gal.
I haven't played a hand of blackjack in probably 25 or close to 30 years. I can tell you the last hand of blackjack I had.
Where was it? The actual hand?
Yeah.
Showboat. It was at the Showboat.
No, it was at the Hilton. It was at the Hilton.
Oh, yeah.
I got dealt ace, another ace, split.
Yeah, here we go.
Another ace,
Here we go.
split.
No.
Another ace, split. Lost all 4 hands.
Oh my God.
That's when you're
Got up from the table, and I've never played a hand of blackjack since. It's like, fuck this. Goodbye.
Oh my God.
It's a good
My
walk-off.
boyfriend, the best place, the only place really to play in town is the El Cortez. They've got a great game, but my boyfriend is on their radar. We've been together 2.5 years. He is every time we go in there, because we like to hang out in the gangsters lounge and watch sports and stuff. I think it's called Bugsy's Lounge, actually. We call it the Gangster Lounge. But yeah, man, they are hot on his tail. He cannot play blackjack in this town, let me tell you, or at least in that casino.
The best one I ever saw, by the way. I don't even mention his name. It's Lee Samuels, the publicist for Top Rank Boxing. And this is long, ages ago. It's probably 30 years ago. And there was a fight card at Bally's. And so Lee, it was a Top Rank card, so Lee's going to do the show, of course. But we were early, so we decided, well, let's go over to Little Caesars, which was still around at that time, and play a few hands of blackjack. And Lee's sat down. He's playing $1, right? He ended up winning like $1,200. He went on one of the hottest rolls. Like, he couldn't lose, just could not lose a hand. And I would say the dealer probably made $300 on it as well, because Lee just kept tipping him after all these wins. So I've never seen a run like that. And by the way, I sat down right next to Lee with $20 and was busted within 3 minutes. So I just sat there and watched the rest of the time.
Damn.
I love it. Stephen Lambert, 4 aces, and he walks away. Legend.
Yeah, no, I walked away with no money too. All the chips ended up on the other side of the table where they're not supposed to go. Because I didn't get any 21s, and the dealer did.
God, that's ridiculous.
Oh, and the worst part is the dealer had 15 and drew a 6.
Oh.
I mean, it was just like, this can't happen. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
That's a bad beat.
Yeah, well, if you say you're never going to do something again, then be true to your word and don't do it, because it apparently isn't your game. So I don't know how to count cards, so I wasn't going to win doing that. And I don't know. I'm just not lucky at that. I'm lucky at some other stuff.
Hmm.
So, Dave, before we get you out of here, I want to get baseball picks. I want to get baseball strategy.
Me too.
Am I crazy for thinking these are 3-game series in the first round, right?
Right.
Why would I, if there's some value on the dog, why would I not be a heavy dog player in 3-game series?
Well, the tough part is that you might not be getting the best of it as far as the team's concerned.
Right.
There's some bad teams in the playoffs this year. I mean, I wish them well, but I don't think the Marlins are going to be playing long.
Right.
And a few others. And I don't think the Astros are going to be playing long. I'm assuming the Astros will get some bye because, they're the Astros, and it's the postseason. They'll bear down now. But I don't think they're very good. And they have a horrible record this year against teams over 500. 4-13, including 2-11 on the road. So they haven't beaten anybody. They're in the playoffs because they beat some bad teams. So, I think favorites win those games tomorrow in series. I think the upsets might come more in the second round once some of these wild cards are out of the way.
Let me throw some odds at you.
All right.
Let's see. I got my file here that's 5,000 miles long. Would you take the White Sox over the A's? Pretty close number.
Yeah, tough series too. Oakland has played. See, the thing on Oakland is I think they've only played 6 games all season against teams with a winning record.
Right.
It's just the way the schedule. They were 2-4, and those Sox have also not done well against winning records. Most of their success beating up on teams they were superior to. The White Sox have crushed lefties all year. You bear that in mind tomorrow because they're facing Luzardo. But Giolito's numbers against the better teams he faced this year weren't great either. So I think that's a really difficult series. I'd say this: the winner again. And this is kind of obvious, but the winner of Game 1. Well, of all the series, it might be the most likely to go 3. I think that's going to be a really good series, and I think it's a tough series to pick a winner in.
All right. You got any suggestions? Plus money.
White Sox and A's.
No, in general.
Oh, no, I have not looked.
All right, we'll get to it.
I have not
Dave,
looked.
Dave, what happened?
I had things to do.
It looks like a ton of money came in on the Indians. Am I right on that? I'm seeing now. I got Yankees. I got Yankees 115.
No, that means the Yankees are getting the money. I think the Indians.
I thought they were like minus 135 at one point. Yankees. Am I wrong, chat room?
I've got to turn on my odds screen to find that out, which will take me a second.
What would you do in that series?
The Yankee bats are just so dynamic, and Garrett Cole doesn't have the numbers that Shane Bieber has this year, but Garrett Cole's got a wealth of postseason experience. This is the first time Bieber's ever pitched in a playoff game, so I'm not going to go against Bieber. He's just been too dynamic this season. But the Yankee bats are ridiculous, and in a big game setting, I'm not anxious to go against Garrett Cole. What's interesting is that the first 5-inning total in this game is 3. Let's see. No,
that's what I was thinking was an under first 5.
The opening line of the game was 105, and it's up to 107. So it's basically stayed right where it is. Indians tiny favorites, but the totals.
Dave, I might have screwed you up. I was talking about the series too.
Oh, the series. Oh, you know what? I don't have. Okay. Yeah, the series. Let's see. Open to 123. It's down now. Yeah, you're right. It's down to 105. So, and look, the Indians have great pitching. And I think the prevailing thought is that good pitching is what dominates in the postseason. I don't disagree with that either. I think that if you've got the guys that can shut down the opposing offense, you got a really good chance to win. So I don't disagree with that money. But the Yankees scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, the Indians don't hit. They just really don't. They're on and off. But I do love Bieber. I agree with that. Go ahead. Sorry, Adam.
No. I was going to ask Dave. I know you're mentioning Cole's postseason experience and Bieber being there for the first time. And I know in a handicapping sense, that has always been a pretty strong tool of, hey, this guy's been there. He understands the situation. Like, is it different? Like, should we factor that in this year? Is it going to feel like a big game?
Yeah, I still think it will. Even with the crowd not there, but it's the playoffs. And especially when it's the Yankees. I mean, as great as Bieber's obviously going to win the Cy Young, and anybody who votes against him is goofy. But it's still the biggest game he's ever pitched in. And that's a bit of an advantage to me on the Garrett Cole side. But the other side of it is that if Bieber pitches at the level he's pitched at, there's going to be a ton of swing and misses, and he's going to probably go 7 innings, give up like 1 run. Kind of tough to win those games.
Betting expert Ryan Carhill with the experience means nothing. Reds. What about the Reds in an upset against the Braves in the series with the Reds pitching? Although, as Allie mentioned a couple seconds ago, that the Indians can't hit the Reds. This is unbelievable that a team that hit 212 for the season made the freaking playoffs.
And their offense is not good.
Oh,
They're going to have to get really good pitching. Now, they might get it because Bauer's been fantastic. Castillo's gotten really hot. And I'm not sure it's Sonny Gray in a big game, to tell you the truth. He might go back into his Yankee mentality, which wasn't very good in big games. I still think the Braves have a little too much. And one reason I would say that is as good as the Reds pitching is, anybody better than Max Fried from the left side? He's been the best lefty in baseball. And I think Fried in game 1 is going to get the Braves out on a winning note. And if he does, it's going to be really tough for the Reds to beat him. And I think that's probably why the Reds have become very popular as far as the public is concerned, because they're hot. They've got the dynamite pitchers. But the price has gone up on the series. It's gone from 130, 135 up to 145. So I think a sharper money is probably on the Braves.
Yeah, agreed. I remember the very first show you and I did together, Dave, at the beginning. We were talking about series prices in the Central, and the Reds were minus 105 to win that whole division. And it was like a little bit shocking. And I think everyone kind of jumped on the Reds at first, and then they got so injured and fell apart a little with the COVID. I really expected more out of that team. So it's unfortunate, but the Braves, I feel like, are the play all day here.
They're good. Braves are a good team. I don't know if they got the pitching to contain the Dodgers if that series takes place. But, I mean, the Dodgers are supposed to win. and anything short of getting to the World Series is a complete flop. And I will say this: I think Dave Roberts at least has to get to the World Series, or they're going to have a new manager next year. So there's a lot of pressure on him to perform well in this postseason.
What about Cards in the series over the Padres plus 170?
Yeah, and I love this Padres team. They're so much fun to watch. But they actually, this was the benefit of being in either of the Western divisions this year. You didn't have to face a very tough schedule. They've only had, I think it's 13 games against winning teams this season, and they're 6-7 in those games. So it's a step up in class. We'll see. I think Cardinals could be pesky in this series, especially with Wainwright, who he's a big game guy, and he's going to give the Cardinals a decent chance to win his game. But I do think the Padres are the overall better team. I just don't think they're worth laying 200 with.
Yeah, that's the problem there.
It was 150, I'd say go ahead, but at 200, I can't do it. I think if you're going strictly for value, I think the Cardinals might offer it.
Here's a question you may not know. So I'm sorry to throw it out there, but I've actually just read an entire thing about postseason formats, and it wasn't in there. So for the best of 5 and best of 7 series down the road, it's in a neutral site, but it's kind of the same format. It's home team for game 1 and 2 and 5.
Right.
Road team is the home team in the neutral site or whatever it is for game 3 and 4. How are they doing it for the best of 3? Like it's at the higher seed stadium, but they're not the home team in every game, right?
No, they won't be the home team in every game. So in other words, I think it's. You know what? I don't actually know what the second who the second game is. Wait, let me see.
Yeah, I'm looking too.
No, as far as I know, the home team, the higher seed is the home team for the first 2 games, and it would be the technically road team the third game. I believe that's it.
It should. I'm answering questions.
It might be the home team.
You would think home team 1 and 3, road team in game 2, maybe, because you would want to have the home team have the advantage in the decisive game.
Right.
But literally,
honestly, I hadn't thought of that. I looked at the schedule, and I'm looking at Wednesday's schedule, and the game 2s on Wednesday, the home teams are still listed as the home teams.
Yeah, and so I read a whole thing about the playoff formats, and I can't find this anywhere. So I don't know.
It says the higher seed will host all of the games in this round. The wild card round will feature an 8 best-of-3 series. The higher seed will host all 3 of the games in this round.
So they're the home teams for all 3 games.
They're hosting. I don't think that means they're the home team. Doesn't that mean
you're? I do, because they're not. It's on a neutral field.
Right. No, the first 3, all home games, home team for all 3 games. I mean, it's in their stadium.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if they're batting last. These people are saying that they are the home team in all 3 games. I guess that's
the way I'm reading it as well. The way I'm seeing it online. But leave it to baseball to leave everybody not knowing.
Yeah, I literally just read. I read like a whole breakdown of all the rules that are being used. Like, they are still using the 3-batter rule for pitchers. They are still using universal DH. They're not using the extra inning. Right. So it's this whole breakdown of how the games are all formatted and everything, and it explains who the home team is in every round after the wild card round. But it doesn't explain the whole team in the wild card round. So I guess all these people are saying home team for all 3 games. So I guess we'll go with that. Well, I guess we'll find out soon.
Well, hopefully there'll be a 3rd game because that'll be exciting, and we'll find out at that point.
Yeah.
The other series, Tampa looks like the best team in the American League. They really do. I mean, they've got great numbers against winning teams. They beat class opposition. They've got power pitching. I don't think Toronto's got much of a chance in this series, and I think Tampa's got a real chance to win the AL. And I kind of, as one who has never bought into the small market stuff, I will still admit that I'd love to see Tampa win it just for that reason, that they don't have the resources other teams have, and they've just done it through being more shrewd than other organizations.
And it's time. Like I loved betting on Eovaldi when he was a Ray. I loved betting on Happ when he was a Ray. It's like they get there and they're good, and they're like, well, they don't get there, but they're like close to getting there. And it just feels like it's their year this year to really like make some headway. They just were brutal all season long. And I really like the Blue Jays. They've been fun to watch. I cashed on them the other day against the Yankees, actually. But Yeah, I think the Rays have got this one. Their pitching's fantastic.
There's just everything's fantastic. Kevin Cash is a terrific manager. He's a mad scientist. He does stuff that's completely out of the box, and it usually works. He's really strong. No, I like the Rays. It's too bad they don't have a fan base. That stadium, by the way, and now it's an old stadium on top of it. I was there once when it was a new stadium. What a shithole!
Trop?
It just, oh my god,
It's pretty crappy.
Just a dump.
I
mean,
love
it's
the Trop.
Really?
No.
Why? You like aesthetically ugly things?
That's terrible. It's terrible. It's awful.
And by the way, the food wasn't very good either. I still remember that. It doesn't compare with like Petco. Love Petco. Love Petco. Oh,
how great would it be? How great would it be to be able to go to the ALCS at Petco? By the way, the ALCS is at Petco.
Yeah. How good would it have been just to get down there for some games this year with this fun team? I mean, it's the most exciting team they've had in memory, and you couldn't go to any games. And I like going to San Diego a couple of times a year.
It's the first year I haven't gone to a Padres game. It's crazy. They'll be there. They'll be back next year. Slam.
Oh yeah, I certainly hope so. I think next year, if you want available good seats for one of the nearby cities for Major League Baseball, you might want to look into Phoenix because they're probably not going to be very good. They don't draw that well anyway. And I think if you're looking for good tickets at face value or thereabouts, Diamondbacks will be the way to go for short trips next year.
Weren't there talks of them coming to Las Vegas and
No,
playing at like Cashman or something? I remember that last year that we might get the Diamondbacks, or there were talks about it or something.
Well, there was some ugliness between the Diamondbacks and the city, which, by the way,
it was like the ownership.
People should definitely pay attention to that for Allegiant Stadium's future, which is completely ridiculous. But it's not an old stadium in Phoenix, and it was publicly financed. And then all of a sudden they go to the city and they're like, "We need all these massive improvements. Like we just funded it 10 years ago. What are you talking about?" And yeah, the Diamondbacks did look at locations.
Yes, Henderson.
But
it
was mostly just to mess with Maricopa County.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're not leaving Phoenix.
I do remember that. I don't want that team anyway.
Well, no, I'd be happy with any team, but we're not getting a major league team for the foreseeable future.
Why not?
We don't have any place. We don't have any place to put them, and I don't think you're going to get another taxpayer-funded stadium. We got one, and it's a beauty. I mean, that stadium's awesome, but I don't think we're going to get another one anytime soon. And besides which, I don't think Major League Baseball would come here that quickly. Not because they've got anything against Las Vegas, but they need to get to Nashville and Montreal. They're just better locations. I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a knock on us. They just are better locations for baseball.
Then it would just be us and Buffalo, right? Because right now it's us, Buffalo, and Nashville. I think that are cities that have MLB and NFL, or excuse me, NHL and NFL and nothing else.
I think we're going to get NBA. I think we're going to get NBA soon enough.
We are.
I just don't see baseball. And personally, I love baseball. I mean, there'd be nothing I like better than I would get season tickets for that. And I'm not one who goes to a lot of games, but that I'd get season tickets for. But I don't think baseball's coming here. But I think the NBA, 4 years tops?
Yeah, I would think so. It was part of the deal of taking the WNBA, just so people are aware of that. Yeah. Secret handshake deal. And the Raiders won't even let the Rebels play at Allegiant. I don't think they're letting a Major League Baseball team play there.
They're not? I thought that was like part
T-Mobile.
of the whole thing.
Yeah, well, they have better lawyers. It would be T-Mobile,
Cool.
Aaron. They already built NBA locker rooms there. Like they're ready to go.
Yeah, they do. Didn't they do conference games at T-Mobile? Or something like
Pac-12.
that?
Pac-12.
Yeah,
was there.
Pac-12 was there. Yeah, I remember.
But
Yeah,
I would
Pac-12
actually. Sorry, if I was the NBA, I mean, they'd have to do a lot of the suites and stuff, I guess. So it's out. But MGM is a much better arena for basketball than T-Mobile is. But you do need all the amenities that T-Mobile has to make the NBA work. So
It sounds like the logical location. And the other thing is that Allegiant, regardless of whether the Raiders allowed it or whatever, there's no way they're playing. There's never going to be another multi-purpose stadium.
No.
Okay, that those are done, and probably just as well, because when they were the multi-purpose stadiums were actually no-purpose stadiums. They were bad for everything.
You didn't like the Vet or Three Rivers?
Oh my God! I actually was at it was never at Three Rivers, but I was at the Vet, and it's a cement bowl with seats. It was just horrendous.
How many current MLB stadiums have you been to?
Current?
Yeah.
Let's see. San Diego, San Francisco, Dodger Stadium, Angels, Arizona, Fenway, Trop, and I think that's probably it. Because I've not been to the new Yankee Stadium. I've obviously never been to the Mets' new stadium. I was at the old one. But no, some of the cities where I went to games, the stadiums don't exist anymore. So it's like I've been to Shea. I haven't been to the Mets at City. I was there at Shea, which was another really beautiful ballpark.
Did you ever go to the Astrodome?
No.
I grew up watching games at the Astrodome.
No, I wish I had, because it was what do they used to call it? The eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
The first dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how
Minute
about
Maid's
this?
cool though. Well, now it's not Minute Maid, or is it? It's not Enron. It's Minute Maid. Anyway, it's cool.
Yeah.
They went from gasoline to orange juice.
I was gonna say there's only one current stadium I haven't been to, but it's actually two because the Rangers opened theirs, and I obviously have not been to that one.
Oh yeah.
The Marlins' new stadium is the only one I haven't been to.
Oh. I certainly have never been to that one.
Yeah.
How about those Marlins?
I'm glad the Marlins got there. I do.
Yeah.
I actually am. It's it's a no-name team, but I kind of like the approach they're taking, and I particularly like the fact that they got there right after Jeffrey Loria was gone, because Jeffrey Loria. If there's anybody I ever wanted to see go 0-162, with Jeffrey Loria.
Mine's Jeter.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I've always despised him, and he's so overrated.
He's always spoken well of you, Adam.
I doubt it. Not if he's ever heard the show.
Jeter took A-Rod's spot for me. I was a Texas Rangers A-Rod and I-Rod fan big time, and then A-Rod went to the Yankees, and then he became a third baseman because of Derek Jeter, and I just never liked Derek Jeter because they moved my guy over.
Well, I couldn't like him because he was a Yankee, but that's I'll admit to that bias.
I can ditto that.
But the thing of it is, and I guess it's just comes with getting older and being further and further removed from fandom. Even when they won the World Series a couple of years ago, I mean, 04 was amazing. 04 was one of the highlights of my fan life. But a couple of years ago when they won, it was like, yeah, okay, that's nice. But I guess that you get jaded after a while when you're in the sports betting end of things on a daily basis, because you don't really have any favorite teams. Even the Golden Knights, and I do like the Golden Knights, but I got no problem betting against them, so that doesn't make me much of a fan, I guess.
Yeah. I just don't bet on my teams. Like my teams that I really do like, I just don't bet on them.
I would say.
But I think as you get to be more of a veteran at this, what I'm suggesting is, and I think this is true for a lot of people, you might not be as much of a fan as you've been of your favorite teams.
I understand that. I get that.
You just want to win the bet more than you want your team to win the game.
Well, let me ask you this, because I interview a lot of handicappers on picks and parlays for our free pick videos.
Right.
And I would say 9 out of 10 of them don't watch sports. They just get their bets down and they check the scores later. And so you watch sports? I watch everything. Well, for me, I watch especially college football because I really want to see the personnel. It's like if I hadn't watched Miami 2 weeks ago, I probably would have taken Florida State plus the points on Saturday, thinking, well, they've over-adjusted the line because they went to Louisville and won the game. And Florida State isn't getting any regard because they looked bad in their first game, or they lost their first game to somebody who's not supposed to lose to. And those are situations where you kind of look to the dog having the value. But I watched Miami against Louisville, and it was like, holy shit.
This team has got so much speed on the edges. It's scary. They're better than people think they are.
Yeah,
how good is
I went to
Brevin
University of Houston. They took our quarterback. I knew all about Derek King. They took our quarterback, and I'm not happy. But I have been cashing on Miami, so I can't get that mad at you.
I mean, I'm not saying they're going to beat Clemson, but that's a good football team
But I
with
am
tremendous
saying I'm
athleticism.
over.
But that's why I like to watch games, because I can get more of a read on the team. It saved me another bet on the weekend, because my numbers actually said that Troy had some value against BYU, but I watched BYU, and I'm telling you what, those suckers are good. They're big and they've got some speed. This is the best BYU team I've seen in a long time.
I was 3 wins, 3 losses on Saturday, and then Drunk Alley bet on Troy, and Drunk Alley made herself 3 and 4 for the day, which wasn't great.
Well, Troy was a play on my numbers, and I'll probably bet on Troy this week because they're playing South Alabama, which I think they can handle. But BYU, it's a shame, and it's funny how luck runs. If this is a normal 12-game season, BYU is probably the group of 5 team. They might be the most, or they're in the hunt. Let's put it that way. But they've got a 7-game schedule with no good teams on it, basically, and I don't think they're not going to have a chance at the playoffs, and they probably won't be the group of 5 either, which is, tough break for BYU, because this is really a good team.
Oh,
that sucks. That's too bad. They went independent.
Yep.
Feel bad for them.
At least Notre Dame. I'm actually a little surprised. Well, I guess it's too late now, but BYU would be better off playing in the Mountain West this year, now that the Mountain West is going to play. But Notre Dame, got to give them credit for being smart. It's like we need to get a schedule. Okay, ACC, we'll play in your league. It was a smart move.
Dave, what would you make the number on Clemson, Miami? Just like ballpark.
Shit. Hold on. I have to. You know what? It'll take me too long. I don't want to give a bad number out because it'll take me too long to get to my power ratings. So I can't say right now. But Clemson will be the favorite, obviously. But it's going to be. It's at Clemson. Just off the top of my head, I'm saying about 15 neighborhood, but it might be less than that. And if it is over 2 touchdowns, pretty good chance I might take the Canes. King really is a talented kid, but it's the speed they've got on both sides of the ball. They recruited some really fast guys, and speed kills.
And I just mentioned him, but I'll say it again because he's a local kid here for Las Vegas. But Brevin Jordan is a problem. Like, I don't know what he's going to be doing. They were talking about his pro prospects the other day. Size wise, it's a little weird because I think he's a little small to play tight end. I don't know if he can block, but at the college level, he is a problem. Like, I don't know who's going to cover him.
Oh, I meant to ask if you knew, because it just popped into my mind because it's Miami.
Tate Martell?
Tate Martell. Where's he going to land?
He opted out.
I know. Is he going to come back you going to come back home and play at UNLV or a Mountain West team?
Should we answer this, Steve?
Well, I don't know the answer, so no, I'm curious.
I would. There's a new coaching staff, so we'll find out. I would say with the old coaching staff, it was highly unlikely.
Well, that I understand. Yes, okay.
They knew him a little too well.
But I'm wondering if I think somebody in the Mountain West will say, "Okay, come here." Who knows? His stock has dropped so much; it might be San Jose State or somebody. But I would suspect if he wants to play quarterback, he'll have a chance to with a couple of teams in the Mountain West.
He probably believes if he went to the draft, he'd go in the first round.
I'm not even sure he wants to play football anymore. I think
he thinks highly of himself.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know him. I don't know him.
He's got a little attitude. By the way, Brevin Jordan's the 4th-rated tight end according to Walters in the draft.
Yeah, and they were breaking it down. I don't know. I think he'd have to put on some size. Or
he's listed at 6'4", 245. So maybe that's
okay.
That's pretty good.
I don't think he's that big. I mean, they might be doing that.
He doesn't run like he's that big.
No, he doesn't. No,
he's one of the guys. It's just man, that guy's good.
It was every single you just look up and like, oh, he's wide open again. This is crazy. And that's, I mean, Florida State isn't Florida State, but like they have athletes. They could not even stay in his vicinity.
Same thing with Louisville. And Louisville certainly got some good athletes. I mean, you know, they're decent, and they're a decent team. I know Louisville's lost a couple of games to start the season, but you know, they faced a really quality Miami team, and Pittsburgh's. You know, I'm not a big fan of their coach, but I think Pittsburgh's got a lot of talent, so it's not a surprise they lost that game. Louisville will get their share of wins. But the thing is that Miami made them look like they were playing with cement shoes. And that shocked me. And I had Miami in the game and wasn't expecting that. I just played it on my power ratings, but I watched the game. It was like, Jesus, this is going to be easy. I knew it like midway through the first quarter. I was like, unless they self-destruct, they're winning this game. They're just way better athletically. Where are we on UNLV? I have not started doing my Mountain West numbers yet. What do you think, Adam? You follow the program closely.
Well, Steve's obviously around much closer than me, but I think they have a ton of talent. I have no idea how it's going to be able to come together. You know, new coach, all these new players. Like, I don't know how quickly they can come together, but I do believe they're going to be good very soon. I mean, they're recruiting at a ridiculous level right now.
Yeah,
I thought.
Good, Dave.
No, the only thing I was going to say is I thought that they, as much as anybody, they would get hurt by the pandemic because of all the changes on the staff and all the personnel. I'm not sure that still holds true because they're getting started so late. So is everybody else. So that might even things out. But everything I'm hearing about the new people in place is really, really good.
Yeah, they've got talent on offense for sure. So they just have to shore up the back end of the defense, and they've got to obviously get a little more stout on the defensive line. But we'll see. They brought in a bunch of freshmen, a bunch of talented defensive recruits. But can guys play as true freshmen at this level? We'll find out. But they really have to rebuild the whole defense, and that's the problem. But their offense, and they got to transfer in Justin Rogers, who was at TCU. I think Oblad's actually pretty solid. And they got a good offensive line back, and they have a ton of receivers and a good running back, obviously, with Charles Williams. So maybe an over team all year.
That'll make them fun to watch.
The biggest, and again, I'm not that close to the program right now because we've all been pushed away with the pandemic. But I think the biggest difference with Arroyo and his staff is going to be a different level of discipline and concentration. And I like Tony Sanchez, but there were times when the team lost focus week to week. So they played so many horrendous games, like out of nowhere. Where I can remember a couple of spots. I'm like, I don't know, I don't like the vibe around the team right now. Like you guys can't be looking ahead or feeling cocky about any game, and it freaking punched them in the face on more than a few occasions.
They got into the record books, right? The Howard game, minus 42, lose the game outright, and
that's a prime example. I'll point to the game. I think it was 2 years ago. They played New Mexico. I think it was 2 years ago. They played New Mexico. New Mexico came in looking horrible. Rogers.
Was UNLV 14 in that game?
Yep.
They were favored, and like the vibe around the program was weird. Like they were going to kick New Mexico's ass, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then it wasn't Rogers that day. It was Max Gillum, and the wind picked up, and they literally could not throw the fucking ball. And then New Mexico's quarterback was terrible, but they just kept beating them down the middle on like quick routes to the running backs and tight ends, and it was like freaking 51-14. I'm like, what the hell just happened? But there was a vibe before the game. I was like, this is not good. So I think that kind of stuff is going to go out the window. If it leads to wins immediately, I'm not sure.
Well,
Adam, go, Dave.
No, I was just going to say, it just sounds like there's more, and I know we've been through this before, so I'm not going to go wild about it, because every time a new coach comes in, it's like, here we go. But this one sounds more legitimate. It just does.
I'd be willing to bet he's not here long.
Well, that's the downside. Is if he's really good, and he might be.
Right, but that to me that's an upside. Like if like I hear people say that all the time. Like, oh, he's just coming in here as a stepping stone to bigger things. Good. That means he's going to take you to a level where the next coach you hire is going to be a lot better.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ask Appalachian State.
Yeah.
They're in their third coach in 3 years. They're still really good. They keep on getting good guys. Yeah, I know that makes some sense.
By the way, I was looking back. It was 18. UNLV had played USC close into the fourth quarter, lost by 22. They killed UTEP. They beat Prairie View. They competed with Arkansas State on the road in the rain, and they lost 27-20. And yeah, they came home, and it was like, oh, New Mexico's here. Oh, they're not as good as Arkansas State, and they lost 50-14. So,
and that's something you can put on. I hate to say it, but you can put that on the coaching staff because that was a team that was probably extremely overconfident. We got this one, and you know what happens when not even really good teams when they get into "we got this one" mentality. That's when games get difficult.
Yeah. All right, Dave. We appreciate it. We got one more story we're going to get to, and we're going to mix in Allie a little more. But good job, dude.
Good to talk to you guys. We'll do it again soon.
We got your back on Twitter. These Raider fans, we got your back.
There you go. And as for the Raider fans who hate me now, I'll survive. See ya.
Bye, Dave.
All right.
Dave, go play with your pugs.
Oh,
Pugs.
I love Dave.
Pugs?
Huh?
Do you have pugs?
No, I'm just doing more rhymes with.
Okay.
Ba-dum-bum.
So, Adam, are they? Is the NFL? Well, first of all, can I go back because you mentioned something? A couple people started freaking out in the chat. I didn't get to punch up the question. Do you know for a fact that UNLV is not they're gonna be blocked from playing in Allegiant this year?
No, I'm joking.
Okay.
But it was just, I mean, people are aware that when UNLV set their schedule before, the Raiders were like, nah.
Yeah.
Like they gave them a problem with some of the games.
I know, but I have a feeling you're going to be a lot more cooperative this time. Like you can't. This is not the time from an optic standpoint to be fucking around with the local school.
Also, the NFL schedule is set, so
right.
they can just turn in dates and say we're going to be home these dates, and it's the
right.
weeks the Raiders are on the road. Like it's easier now because the Raiders have their schedule set.
Yeah, and I agree. Robert in Vegas, Dave is great. He's awesome. He's a legend.
Legend.
Yeah. So, Allie, did you see the story over the weekend that was starting to develop that the Raiders were being investigated for letting someone unauthorized into their locker room last week?
Yeah, I think I actually shared it on my Twitter, but I kind of flew through it and didn't read all the deets.
So, Adam, what do we have going on here?
Everybody's very tight-lipped about this as we are waiting the pending investigation. But there is a very strict protocol on who can be in the locker room besides players. And it's incredibly limited. It's 40 team personnel. That includes, by the way, coaches, like trainers, the equipment people, the general manager, like a couple scouts, whatever you want to have in there. All of the quality control coaches, everybody is included on that, and you can only have 40. And it has to be pre-approved, and there's all these procedures you have to go through to get them in there. And apparently someone was in there that was not part of that list, and they may have had one or two extra people in the locker room. I have heard, not any kind of indication of officially who it is or what role, that it was just a team employee, that they had one extra person in there that wasn't supposed to be in there and they weren't cleared.
Wow.
And that's what had happened. I'm not saying that's a report. I'm just saying that's one of the rumors that's going around. That could also just be the Raiders trying to leak some stuff out there of hey, this is just procedural. Who knows? Did they have Flava Flav in the locker room hanging out with the players? I don't know. I have no idea. We've been trying to ask those questions, but I think as long as the investigation is going, there's not going to be anybody that comes in there and gives out any information like that.
So no one's going to tweet, I didn't go in that room?
No. There's nobody's going to tell on themselves, like in Dave's situation. To Brady's question, I'm saying things I would never report because this is a place we can just talk rumors. That it was seen in the video. That if you remember the Raiders posted a celebration video afterwards.
Oh, okay.
And somebody noticed somebody there that wasn't supposed to be there.
Is the next story of controversy developing, or did it develop earlier this evening?
Oh, at the Darren Waller Foundation dinner?
Yes. Did you see what was going on?
I did. And I know it's already starting to leak around a little bit because I know there were some reporters there. Cassie Soto, one of my coworkers, watch her and me, Vegas Station Game Day every Sunday morning, 9 a.m.
Here's a
getting-
this is a
getting very
picture.
quick at that.
This is a picture from the event.
Yeah. Notice any problems?
There's no masks.
Nope.
Are there supposed to be?
Well, that's the
Okay.
so I know some reporters were posting pictures like this. Cassie posted a photo of Derek Carr throwing out. Apparently, they did something like, "Hey, whoever wants a signed football, stand up, and Derek will throw it to you." But the catch is, if you stand up and catch one, you have to donate like at least $500 to, the Darren Waller Foundation or whatever. And then they were doing the gimmicky stuff like, "All right, I'm going to throw this to you, but if you drop it, you're going to have to donate at least $1,000." Like, okay, cheesy fundraiser things, but a very, very good cause. And I know some of those videos were posted, some of the photos were posted by Cassie, and then immediately people started tagging Governor Sisolak in the tweets. So people are telling on these folks already. That's definitely happening. I think you're confusing him with another leader, Aaron.
Oh yeah.
Here's a video here of Derek Carr giving out a jersey.
Look at that.
Oh, face to face, no mask? Come on, Derek.
Might as well just blow his nose in it before he hands it to him.
That's ridiculous. I have to be
So what do
around
you-
these guys the next couple of days.
Yeah. So what do you do?
Not really.
This thing's been all locked down, and then you got, again, we'll say it a million times, we're not ripping the foundation or the cause, and
No.
they're doing a great job raising money, but I can't imagine the NFL would love to see this.
Well, in the end, it's just going to be for something for people like us and social media to speculate and goof about and talk about and criticize and make jokes and all these other things. That's all it is, unless somebody caught something there.
Right.
And then it gets ugly.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think it was less than 50.
Damn it, Smokey. This is bowling, not Nom. There are rules. That's how I feel about that.
How will you guys cover it, Adam?
We had a bunch of video stuff. Oh, the mask situation?
Yeah.
There's already very detailed conversations going on
Mm-hmm.
that have been going on while we're on this thing, and I just keep getting notifications, so I guess I have to catch up on that conversation.
Is this a good betting tip? Jump on Buff -3 before Carr gets suspended and the line moves.
You know what my problem with this is? There's 2.5s out there.
Good joke ruined.
I know.
With Adam
It's probably sorry, Brady. That was a very good line, but don't lay 3.
It was a great comeback line. There's 2.5s out there.
Yeah.
Shoot for the stars, sweetheart.
I'm doing some Buffalo radio in the morning. That should be fun.
Do they know who you are
Oh yeah.
and what you're about?
Oh yeah.
Didn't you used to do stuff in Buffalo?
I used to be a Bills fan. And
He's from
obsessed.
Buffalo.
I'm not from Buffalo.
He's from Buffalo. He's from Ann Arbor. He's from outside of D.C.,
From Ann Arbor, grew up outside of DC,
Delaware.
and moved here. Never lived in Delaware.
Vegas. He's from everywhere.
You're a journeyman.
I am. I've only lived in 3
You're
places though.
Did you guys hear about Delonte West getting picked up by Mark Cuban?
Oh yeah.
Speaking of journeymen, sorry. That guy
By the
played
way-
for like everybody.
Delonte's still paying the price, by the way.
That's a sad story. Did you hear? Well, I'm sure you guys
you
heard
mess with
about.
LeBron's mom, it's over for you.
Yeah, I guess there's that. And then Joe Montana, like averting this kidnapping. That was pretty. His wife is still super hot. Get it, girl. Get it, Mrs. Montana.
She's the one that wrestled the baby away from the intruder.
Oh, she's a beast.
What's he doing? What is he doing?
No, I thought he was like tackling the chick, and she's the one that pried the baby out of the arms while he was like, they got into a
Why
scuffle.
doesn't he go after the baby?
Because he's got his knee in some chick's throat right now. He's doing things. He's holding someone down. It's like the only tackle of his career.
You're gonna tease me with the Joe Montana's wife? Oh boy, you're right.
Jennifer Montana?
She's so hot.
You a bodybuilder or something? What the fuck?
They're a beautiful couple.
In what year were you?
Why are they both all like ripped up? Oh, that is former. What?
Jennifer is his current wife.
Yeah, Jennifer.
She looks like a normal old lady.
I thought she was really beautiful.
Dude, she's got abs. Come on.
Yeah. And there's that.
That's why she was able to wrestle the baby away.
She was smoking. She was.
Nice.
I guess.
Amber Dixon's on the story.
Uh-oh.
On the
mask sword?
Yep.
Oh,
she said there were definitely more than 50 people gathered when I was there. I thought 50 was the max for the state of Nevada. Innocently asked. Here we go. That's the beginning of the end. Wow. 62, huh? Real nice.
And Joe looks great too. I mean, they're a lovely couple. They really took care of themselves. Hey, whatever. She's hot.
By the way, you saw that.
Willie is the one that started this, by the way.
Yeah, Willie started it. Well, I mean, I also said to Willie earlier, I'm like, all right, Willie Ramirez from the AP, are you freaked out when you see something like this because you had COVID? I mean, it is a different ball game when you're talking to someone who's actually had it, and he had it real bad at the beginning, so real bad. There's a healthy respect for COVID when you've actually had it. Healthier.
Yeah, my friend, I have a girlfriend who's going through it. I mean, she had pre-existing conditions. She's just a little bit older than I am, like 42, 43, and had it and is still like, now she's negative, but she's still dealing with all of these side effects, respiratory issues and chronic this and that, and something about like a blood clot in her brain, and has to get MRIs, but there's not a blood clot, but she has to, it's just like all these freaking other things. And she lives with two people that are like going out and partying, and they're who came back in and gave it to her. And now she's trying to move out of her house because they basically just said, you know what, we're living our lives. This is how we roll. But, unemployment's ending. How does she move out? I mean, it's like a whole freaking thing. Once you've had it, it's really scary. And she's kind of getting shamed from people that are just like fatigue over the whole thing. It's like they have pandemic fatigue and are over it. And she's like, no, you need to listen. This will kill you.
We talk about this all the time, Steve, that we forget what we've talked about on air or off air.
Uh-huh.
So I won't mention the person, obviously, because I don't remember if we talked about it on the air, but our friend had it very bad and was in the hospital. He is getting out. So if we mention it here, good news update. He's getting out of the hospital. So I think we should all be happy about that. So like I said, I don't remember if we mentioned it or not. So
rhymes with.
Well, you know the answer.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was trying to set it up. Yeah, it's he already posted it. He posted it publicly. It's Tony Miller from the Golden Nugget, our friend Tony Miller. So yeah. And I actually think Tony got out already, unless I misread his text from a couple days ago. So, but he had it bad. He had it real bad. So, and I don't know. Should I say this? I don't know. I'll just say there's too many COVID hoaxers in the gambling community.
That's true.
Like real bad. And I would hope they come to grips with the fact that Tony got it and had it real bad, but I don't know. I think everyone has their own truth now, and they just fucking talk themselves into it or talk themselves out of it. Yes, that's why we were keeping it secret, Brady, because we knew you'd go down to Golden Nugget and just get the Golden Nugget. I think his fill-in is pretty freaking bad.
Yeah, Aaron Kessler knows what he's doing.
They'll
be all right.
Did someone write an article about what?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we did write an article about Tony.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You wrote about Tony?
Yeah. It'd be funny if I wrote it. Like I forgot that I put it out there. No, I think Todd Dewey wrote it, I think.
That's why I'm going to intro it when I inevitably get it. That I'm going to go Gruden and just drop it at the end. I got it.
Well, like I did when I had the antibodies, but then I don't anymore.
Yeah. Wow. So what's your advice on New Orleans? What should I do?
When is it supposed to be?
2 weeks.
Wait, what's the dates?
I don't know, October 11th or something like that.
What are you doing there?
Just going on a trip, going to New Orleans.
Shits and giggles. Just didn't.
We go every year.
Lines up with the bye week when I was trying to go out of town too.
That's awesome. Go.
Yeah,
Go.
I would. I mean,
they'll run Vinny on both stations. It's fine.
I would. God, if New Orleans wasn't in the South, I would tell you to go.
I know. I've thought of that, but then I thought of the people of New Orleans, and I'm like, yeah, they contribute to the economy is a cool thing.
True.
I love New Orleans. I went to the Final Four in New Orleans. Freaking Anthony Davis, UKKU. It was awesome. I was so slammed I could not even watch the final game. It was just like
kind of happens in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was good, man. And I've partied in Amsterdam and Prague, and I'm from Houston, and I've lived in Vegas forever. Freaking Nola wrecked me. Like,
first of all,
you win, New Orleans. You win.
Yeah, first night it was a disaster, and I was with two of our friends that were. I mean, it was like I thought they were definitely going to either be in jail or dead, or maybe like both, like in jail and dead. It was like, whoa, that's not a safe place. But then I was like, this place is amazing. It's awesome. It's a great time. It'll get you. But what I was going to say is don't include Houston on that list.
You said parties, dude.
No,
are you nuts?
Houston
you were part of the 1990s underground rave scene, okay? And I was. So
well, maybe that was
the
peak.
Here telling me Houston doesn't party because we do.
Maybe that was the peak. It sucks now.
Listen, Ann Arbor, I don't want to hear about it.
I left there when I was 5.
You just don't know how to party in Houston.
Actually, Steve, you know the best thing about the jokes about where I've lived? One of the places I have lived as a child, you never include at all in my rundown of places that I'm from.
What was it?
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you made it.
It didn't go well.
No.
Wearing Michigan shirts to school every day, not a good idea.
Yeah, that's not good. Wait, screw that whole state. Which one?
Ohio
probably Texas.
Or Texas.
Yeah, probably Texas. I get that a lot.
Oh boy. Yeah, I will not be on that week. I'll just tell you right now.
All right.
On the happy hour? No shot.
Oh, from New Orleans?
No.
I think you should.
I'll cover for you. Just hit me up. We'll schedule something. It'll be me and Ari will handle it with a little dash of Adam. It'll be fine.
Not if I'm out of town too. I can still jump on.
All right.
Yeah, 1:30 their time. I'm not in good shape.
Isn't it?
Mark, the yes on this is like minus 500. There's a lot of pressure in the house.
I mean, honestly, the scariest part is like the plane trip. Really, like I've traveled to Colorado several times. I drive there, but like I've always felt like I was super safe, like in not the casino. What do they call them when you don't live in Las Vegas? Oh yeah, hotel.
Ellie, have you been on Bourbon Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the same as going to a hotel in Colorado.
Right, but I mean, you're going to wear your mask and whatnot. I mean, are you going to go on Bourbon Street and be that guy?
They are not going to be wearing their mask when there's 7 hurricanes in. It's not happening.
Yeah, that's true. You might want to consider that.
Nobody is.
What?
It's going to be as out of control as the Darren Waller Foundation dinner.
Or worse.
I think you're talking about New Orleans. I don't think there's going to be many people there in 2 weeks.
I do.
Didn't LSU just dropped out of the play? Well, they're not New Orleans anyway, but they just dropped out of the playoffs, I heard.
Wait, what happened?
LSU dropped out of the college football playoffs.
Well, because they lost.
They lost.
Oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. I thought the way I read it was like, no, we're not playing it anymore. I didn't read it that way.
Every
funny if they,
every dipshit had that joke this weekend, which is hilarious because they probably will lose 2 games and still make it. So
yeah, but they'd be funny if they made that announcement though of like, we've decided we're just going to play a season. We will not participate in the playoff. Like, yeah, nobody's inviting you. You're not going. You gave up an SEC record in passing yards to Mississippi State.
Do you have an extra?
Mike Leach's Mississippi State. Don't you dare bring them down to something that they're not. Mike Leach showed up. That was a fantastic game. I took the points. I wish I would have moneylined it. That was a fantastic game. Yes, I bring the P funnel anytime that I go on a trip.
My man, can I bring it to New Orleans? Can I borrow it?
Yeah, totally. For the SO, just get her own P funnel. We're already dealing with sanitation issues, so cross contamination. I don't need some other chick peeing in my funnel, and you have your own.
All right, I'll get my own funnel.
You have a funnel. You were born with one.
You don't want to be naked. That's how you get in trouble there.
Isn't that why your underwear has the little boop boop hole in it, so you can?
Come on.
Same.
What is this?
Like your little whoop hole. Like you pull your underwear hole over so your dong can come out.
Yeah, this is not going to work. This, come on. on that note, we'll close it.
Not what I meant.
Allie's tired. I got what you meant. It's the Whipple hole, apparently. Is that what it is?
The Whipple hole. Huh.
All right. Well, good job.
Whoever wants to get up early and listen to me on Buffalo radio, tell them why Josh Allen still sucks. It's gonna be fun times.
That is a good joke to close, Brady. Appreciate that.
I have a new show too. Saturday morning, we're doing we're kind of testing it as a live thing on Facebook Live, and hopefully we'll get picked up, but it's called Total Chaos, and I'm going to go through like every single total and pick on it with a handicapper. It's not my picks. It's an actual real live expert handicapper. But we're going to go through the entire NFL card on Saturday morning, and then the second and third round NCAA football game. So check it out Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific on my Facebook page.
We're doing every Friday now. Every Friday at 4:00, Cofield and Company's Total Chaos. It's awesome.
You better not steal my show.
That's ours now.
That was kind of stupid to mention publicly. Why would you do that?
Because it's already happening.
Wait, are you stealing our Total Chaos idea?
Have you lost your damn mind right now?
You're taking that from us?
I'm already copyrighted. Okay.
I don't believe you.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna pitch it to you, but you always hate all of my show ideas. So I picks and parlays, and they thought it was great. So
you're the of all the people around me in radio, you're the best person to coming up with names for these features. They're awesome.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
You just have to get to actually using one at some point. But Total Chaos is pretty goddamn good.
Well, I don't mind. I would love to do Total Chaos with you guys if you wanted to do the hour show. I do little 5-minute videos for 5 college picks and 5 NFL picks that we'll do on Picks and Parlays that'll be out on Friday night. But if you would like us to rock a Total Chaos, that'd be great. So check it out on Saturday morning and let me know what you think. I'll send it to you.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.